You all seem to partake in my bloodlust for calculated mass murder, and apparently like the idea of doing it in more video games, and so we're here in Hitman 3. A safer work style of game where an objective in one of the missions is using a lead pipe to beat someone's shins in and then proceed to smash their face into a counter, all the while you steal their underpants and leave them drowning in a pool of their own blood. It's quite a therapeutic game if I'm being brutally honest with you. Our victims today are located in Miami, where the infamous Florida man lives, who is almost as loco as the average Ohio citizen. Our primary targets are Robert and Sierra Knox, the details behind them of which I couldn't care less about, just the fact that they were complicit in war crimes, the likes of which I haven't even done yet, though with my track record and the motivation now set in front of me, I wouldn't put it past myself. And of course, there's everybody else. I'm bringing the tried and true ICA blackballer, so my odds of getting past frontal security are only slightly higher than the average Twitter user's IQ, a lockpick so I can enter people's homes to sift through their search history, and a fish. Do not ask why I decided to bring a fish to a racing event. My ideas are beyond your understanding. After getting denied and sent away by Peter Parker himself, I found a side door to get into. It says employee access only, and I am technically on the job, so I just waltzed right in, climbed a wall that was made to look way too damn easy, and went about my merry way. The flamingo outfit that guy was wearing, I didn't like it, so I did things to him, while other people did even worse things to me. I found a camera recording an interview, so I made sure to say hi to my mom. Look how ecstatic I look. Aren't I just having the greatest time? Somehow I found my way into a party, and do not ask where I got emetic rat poison. Instead, ask why I can only use it one time on one item. When this guy was done dry heaving his guts out into the toilet, I pulled out the classic middle school bully trope and dunked his head right in. There's nothing sanitary about a toilet, and there's even less when vomit is present. This was about the only thing I could get away with without sending the entire building into a frenzy, and I'm not quite ready to do that yet, so I moved on. I went the only other way that had any sort of security absent. Inside this tunnel, a dude was all by his lonesome playing some rather fine tunes, so to support him, I stole his coin, before discovering he just had a didgeridoo just sitting there. Didgeridoo is such a fun word to speak. It's like saying jambalaya, or flabbergasted, or cattywampus. That one's a doozy. I've said before that eavesdropping is a sin, but comparing eavesdropping to what I plan to do in this video, 47 is already going straight to hell, so what's one more? This dude was cosplaying as some sort of army general, and I wanted his outfit, so I used my didgeridoo to knock him out and dispose of the body. Look at how fresh Agent 47 looks. He gets a lot of shit for looking like a serial killer who hides under your bed at night. This right here proves all the haters wrong. And because I need to one-up the Knoxes on their war crimes, I showed off my skills with the funny instrument. I thought this was just a regular container at first, as I have the attention span of a squirrel. So when I apparently pressed a button and it chewed up the unconscious body in there, I suddenly found my new favorite way to commit manslaughter. I'll say it, even by my standards, the developers were sick bastards for this one. At the very least, there will be no witnesses. Also, look how much fun I'm having. Just an army general with his didgeridoo frolicking about all around the water spouts, although someone was spying on me over there, and he will pay dearly soon enough. Apparently, the guy who I stole the cosplay from actually had a meeting with one of my primary targets. It's like they're handing me my W on a silver platter. He was yammering on about some robot. I wasn't really interested in much of it until he mentioned that this prototype here will gun down whoever is in the picture I feeded. I just so happened to rip out a page of good old Bobby's face here a couple of minutes prior. He said he'd stake his life on this invention, so I gladly put it to the test. It worked brilliantly. Even I'm tempted to buy one of these machines now. It takes the term partner in crime to a whole new level. They became a bit sus of me, so I bowed out of there. Now we just gotta take care of the rest of the building. It is no mistake when I say I am ride or die with this wooden stick. I had the opportunity to climb up to a higher level and start from the top down. Instead, I bonked a bunch of people over the head because they probably deserved to go to horny jail, and the back room had accumulated a pile of bodies. One floor up, some guy was taking a smoke break staring out over the horizon. I don't need to describe the negative, long-lasting effects of cigarettes, so I concluded that his free trial of living had ended. We can't have any witnesses to my misdeeds yet, and because I'm too far from the wood chipper, I threw this one over the edge too. For some reason, I had completely forgot the entire concept of throwing throwing objects at people, so I threw my instrument in that lady's face. I was quite baffled that her friend over there didn't even seem to care and just leisurely sat by while imminent danger loomed about. This is an atrocity and must be dealt with accordingly. I hit the guy in the head so hard with my fish that it split the top of his skull wide open, bringing about a proverbial crimson mask. The rest of my victims were scattered throughout the floors, only seemingly in groups of 2 maximum. Of course, I continued to use my didgeridoo because when am I ever going to use this thing again? It's like beating people's faces in with a guitar. That opportunity just doesn't come around. Comment below how many times I said the word didgeridoo. The first person that does so correctly gets a cookie. When you hit something with metal, it generally reverberates at least a couple of feet. Short of being deaf though, there is zero reason these 2 lab coats here just completely ignored their buddy getting his skull bashed in. I'm holding a f***ing driver. These things make noise when you hit golf balls, never mind cartilage. I found myself on the roof of the building overlooking the finish line, and mostly for giggles, I was gonna fire upon Knox's car just to see what happens. Because my aim in shooters is utterly shit, I was flabbergasted when I hit the car just right and completely erased Sierra's brain from the living plane. It goes to show that even degenerates like myself can sometimes do something with their lives. Seeing as though I felt I had a lot more to do, however, I reset back to the last checkpoint before I caused the worst travesty on Saturday morning. Remember that peeping Tom from earlier who spied upon me having my fun in the water? I made sure he was left with permanent brain damage courtesy of a fish. This lady not too far away said a mean insult about my mother, and you do not insult a man's mother. The game decided to be real funny though and completely freeze, preventing me from serving righteous justice. My disappointment was immeasurable, but my day was made all the better when this bitch got her just desserts, i.e. the wood chipper. I love this machine. Something about this image I find very amusing. I don't know whether it's his shiny dome or if it's the promiscuous facial expressions 47 seems to always wear, but this is a treasure that must be shared to all. While doing some recon and planning out my next set of homicides, I actually found the Florida man, and I didn't even hesitate stealing his garb for myself. This isn't even a contest anymore. This lad paired with these pants equals confusing things happening inside my brain. Of course, I had to play the role of Florida man, and these coconut balls just so happened to finish right before this other lad showed up. I sprinkled in a little of my secret seasoning and offered one of my biggest balls to him. He seemed to be a little queasy, however, so I left my stand to make sure he was okay. He asked for some water, and seeing as though I don't have any on me, I gave him a little nudge to get him to his biggest desire. Look at those physics, man. Aren't they swell? The food stand's comprised of a small rowdy group that haven't separated since before I found Florida man, hence where the silenced blackballer comes into play. Missing the first 3 shots in practically point-blank range was f***ing embarrassing, and a testament to how I will never succeed in online first and third person shooters. My piss poor aim has nothing on the dumbass security back there who quite literally watched me change clothes in front of them and they acted none the wiser. I'm not sure whether I should be scared they're only playing dumb or laugh hysterically at the sheer nonsense I see in these games. It takes care of a few more NPCs if nothing else, but my god, the lack of social awareness is baffling. I soon found what appears to be a lounge, and every square inch here felt like prime real estate. Walls, close quarters combat, and distractions so I can slyly outmaneuver everyone by pushing buttons. A monumental amount of ice had to be sacrificed to get this job done, but it's for the greater good. And a baseball of all things proved to be my best friend when things went sideways. I lost my didgeridoo somewhere, and 4 days later I'm still upset about it. I'm not exactly sure what I did here, but I'm pretty sure I blew something up somewhere, as these are pressure valves and the not so obvious danger explosive sign was ever present. I haven't been able to say it yet, and now seems like a good a time as any. I like blowing shit up. While on the way back to the main viewing area to calculate my genocide run, I ran past a dude in a flamingo outfit and couldn't help but listen in on his call. He claimed to have some no-no knowledge on one Sierra Knox, and I was slowly running out of options. He asked me to retrieve his keys, and seeing as though I'm a good person, I retrieved them for him, handed them over, and then punched his throat out to establish dominance. Agent 47 is currently dressed in a fucking flamingo outfit, and I have no idea whether to be proud or horrified of this fact. I concluded here that crazy Florida man wearing flamingo outfit commits mass genocide and gets away with it was going to be tonight's headline, and nobody was going to stop me. I smuggled in a lethal syringe, which is just poisonous death in a vial, and I had a really good idea for it for Sierra Knox, but my dumbass accidentally used it on one of the part-time security guards. I was half tempted to just reload the save, but I already accepted my fate once I realized I can actually throw the briefcase at people's faces. We met up with our other target, and she is honestly such an ass. I severely dislike condescending bastards like her. Just listen to this.
2, you don't choose option 1. Someone dies. Right here, right now. Which do you prefer?
Not much of a choice, is it?
No, not really. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Someone did die in the end, I suppose. Now that both of my primary targets have been sent to the great big safe house in the sky, it was time for the real game to begin. It was here I discovered what those pressure valves from a little bit ago were actually for. I didn't see the annihilation firsthand, but that's okay, I suppose. In a way, I was in two places at once, unintentionally creating noise in one place while acquiring results in another. That's some video game protagonist type shit right there. I can only imagine what the police report for this massacre is going to look like. One thing I can say is that I can almost guarantee somebody is going to laugh and feel like a horrible person for it when they realize all of this was done by a man wearing a pink bird costume. Since security for this event could actually fight back, I spent my time making sure as many loose ends were tied up before I made my grand entrance. I alternated between an amputation knife and the classic briefcase depending on the situation. I suddenly feel really confident in my dart throwing skills. I decided that this bar right here would be a great start. I missed my throwing knife kill, but made up for it with my handy baseball, and the cataclysmic event had officially begun. The security decided that firing into a crowd of civilians to try and hit me was the best move. In hindsight, I regret changing clothes, as this creates a plot hole that I didn't quite anticipate a couple of minutes ago, but the end result will be all the same. And quite possibly the best kill transpired when this lad here took being sent to the great big police headquarters in the sky almost literally. If that set of stairs hadn't been there, I have no doubt in my mind that he would have been the one to actually make it. Wall bangs are a thing in this game too. The guards were so eager to find me and claim honor and glory for their families that they just completely forgot the laws of physics existed. Even I haven't been able to channel my inner Danny Phantom yet. Maybe I should have kept that dude alive, bring him back to my torture chamber, basement, for safekeeping. My gun seemingly ran out of ammunition quite quickly, and I was upset about it. In hindsight, bringing only roughly 80 bullets or so was not the smartest idea for the objective at hand. The crowd dispersed quite quickly and only a few stragglers remained, so I decided to become Michael Myers light and just use a kitchen knife for all of my pleasurable stabbings. It's not quite as effective, especially when they run away, but Agent 47 studied the practice strategies of Legolas in case a scenario such as this one happened. The lengths of brutality you can go to and the lines you can cross should not be taken for granted. Nobody with a sound mind would or should even attempt this. My sanity fell out of my soul a long time ago though, so I crossed these lines so you don't have to. In total, the kill count was roughly 400 or so, though it probably could have been a lot more had the crowd been a bunch of good boys and just sat there while I rained fire down upon them. Even the game itself told me I did naughty things, as I was completely disconnected from the Hitman servers, so that tells you all you need to know. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving it a like, or if you hated it, leave it a dislike. And if you haven't already and you like what you see on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Helps me out a ton. Shout out to all my Patreon supporters for making videos like this one possible. Have a good one. Peace out.